you, Bobby, second straight match that was probably more entertaining for the neutral than it was for you. Your thoughts on overall and probably the disappointment that doing all that work to come back in the game and then losing it late.
Yeah, self-inflicted wounds hurt, in every part of life, including football, and that's what we've done again today. Simple as that. Talk about it. What are we going to talk about? The 15 chances we've had, excellent saves by Callum Irving to keep them into the game, coming back in the score. Done everything great, and for a matter of simple mistake at the end, you come away with 1 point instead of 3. Guys have done a great job throughout the match to get back into it, to do what they need to do, and then we let ourselves down.
Coach, you said the best part is that the team is playing good. That's what we can say. The team is playing good. You are pushing the ball. You are having control of the ball. Sometimes life, as you said, is not perfect. Sometimes you cannot get. As long as we didn't lose, we ended up getting a point. But what you see yourself for the next following game, the next Wednesday? Any players that you are watching right now that you are willing probably to get them on the field for the next game?
First and foremost, today feels like a loss. It's as simple as that. Football-wise, there was one team on the field that played football, and that's nothing against Vancouver, because there's different ways of doing it. But playing, doing what you need to do, creating, trying to be exciting, that was us. And there's two ways you do things. You either play that way or you turn it the other way. And I've said over the years, the easiest way to win in this league is to not play football. I think for the 5,000 that show up here every week, I think after a few weeks, some of them will stop showing up. But you need to make sure you have a good commitment to doing that each and every week, and you can't have multiple weeks where you have 3 goals in your own goal. You're not going to give yourself a chance to win games that way. It's simple enough. So we need to get better at that. That's for sure. Keep the ball out of your net. Rest defense structures have to be better, and just the individual errors, of course.
Coach, on the positive side, we were able to see Hamilton in the second half. You ended up the game with no injuries, and probably it's a plus for this coming up Wednesday. Yeah,
to be quite honest, I don't care about Wednesday. I care about today. In a couple of hours, I'll care about Wednesday, because that's the problem. We talk a lot about this cup game on Wednesday like it's the biggest game of the century. It's a game. We're Forge. We've got 4 trophies here. We've played all over the continent. We don't care that we're playing Toronto, Montreal, Chivas. It doesn't make a difference in the world. It's a game. And tomorrow we'll prepare for that game on Wednesday.
Bobby, commiserations on the drop points. I wonder, I said this to Ashton, but football rivalries are usually born out of geography or ideological differences or whatever. In our small burgeoning league, sometimes those rivalries are sped up just because you're playing each other so much and all these different things. Is it fair to say that in what's happened last year, and maybe especially what's happened this year with Vancouver FC, that rivalry, that sense of mutual respect, but looking forward to those competitions is kind of growing for you, especially because Ashton really was very excited about the equalizing goal and expressed that, and then you guys had a conversation about that, or you guys talked after the game about that?
Yeah, of course. I think if I'm the coach of the team that equalizes in the last minute, I'm excited as well. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's any rivalry involved there. We've had some good matches this year. They've come in here and they've taken points twice, and that's positive for them as a team that's a lot more experienced this year. Yeah, but I don't walk into a dressing room whether, and I'm going to sound a little bit like the last one, whether we're playing Vancouver or Cavalry and so on, and talk about rivalries. It's a team we play, and some teams we have a excellent record against. Some teams it's pretty even. But each game is unique in its own way. The same way tonight's was unique in many ways because it had a lot of different things going on. But yeah, for the neutral, they're exciting matches, I guess.
And forgetting about what the next match is, how do you in general as a coach and as Forge, how do you kind of wash this off of you to move forward?
Yeah, you have to. It's when you have disappointment, you have to wash that off, and when you get 3 points, you also have to make sure that you don't get too excited. You know, it's part of the way that I always work. You know, I don't say a lot to the team after games in general because, you know, sometimes you sound great as a coach when you've won, and then you go the other way when you haven't, or when you have a tie like this, and then you start losing that connection with the players. So I think it's always that mentality of we take one game at a time, and then, you know, quickly with our staff, especially when you have these quick turnarounds, you just snap out of it and you go on to your next opponent. Because everybody brings something different, something unique to the table, and how they're going to play, how you can try and find the advantages and opportunities against them. And, you know, tonight probably we'll sit down with the staff downstairs and they'll open up the file on TFC and we'll start discussing that, and that'll be where our focus is tomorrow. You know, in these quick ones, you kind of leave this one behind. Whether it was very good, whether it wasn't great, or it doesn't matter what the result, you leave it behind and you refocus because you've only got 3 days to get prepared for the next one.
Thank you so much, and all the best in the Voyageurs.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, everyone.